ask is members' code of conduct. So members are asked to consider whether they have any disclosure of pecuniary or non-pecuniary interests in connection with any of the items on the agenda. If so, can they declare them and the nature of the interests, please? No? Thank you very much. I already have some apologies, so I'll tell you who the apologies are from and then we can add to them. So I've got apologies from Chris Briggs, who's away at the moment, Jeanette, who's got a meeting, public health meeting over in Liverpool, Pat Hackett, for obvious reasons, and Trina Johnson. So is there any more to add to that?
Steve Williams.
Steve.
And
Leslie.
And Sarah, constituency member.
And Sarah, constituency member. Okay, can we approve the minutes from the 26th of January? Because I sign off to the true record of what happened on the 26th.
Agreed.
Thank you. There are no public questions, and we're going to invite questions. Are there any questions? I'll bring you in next, so just to tie in with the community reps. So, are there any questions from the public at all? No? Oh, this is going nice, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm going to do before we go to the community, to Jennifer an update, is we've got 2 people here who are community connectors. I'm not going to say too much, I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell them what they do. They're only here, it's under any other business, but I'm just bringing them forward so that they can get off. You'll understand why it's important that we all know what they do when we find out. So it's Shelley and Phil. So if you just like to come forward to these 2 ladies, it's only going to take a couple of minutes of our time, but it's going to be interesting and worthwhile. So I think you just need to introduce yourself and then tell us what community connectors actually.
My name is Shelley Davern. I'm the connector of Connectors at Involve Northwest.
Do they need the mic up and everybody hear them? Can the audience hear? If you just press the button there, Shelley, on your mic. That's it. That's all you need. You're on. Everybody can hear you.
I'm on. My name is Shelley Davern. I'm lead connector at Connectors, which is Involve Northwest.
I'm Philip Currell. I'm one of the connectors for Wallasey, Seacombe and Brighton.
Connectors has been launched to support the work being undertaken by Healthy Wirral and the Health-Related Worklessness Programme. It is led by the local aspiration on Wirral to move towards stronger residents and neighbourhoods. Connectors' vision. Tackle issues of social isolation. We have time to spend with people. Inspire belief in positive change and progress for people. Truly go out and engage with people, with communities, and to listen to what is important to them. Build upon assets and to encourage aspirations. Positive shift for communities. See new friendships develop. Improve people's health and well-being. Who benefits? Everybody. Connectors looks to reach out to people who may feel they are in a grey area. They are working age and have found themselves in receipt of ESA, IB and universal credit with a sick note. Who are our partners and other agencies we've engaged with? Here are some of them. DWP, our local CSOs, local councillors, Heart of Egremont, food banks, GPs, 5 Bars Social Club, Wirral Ways to Recovery, The Open Door, Seacombe Children's Centre, local churches, some of which we've been into, Community Spirit Wirral. We've been on the Great Door Knock with Age UK, and that's just a few.
Okay, so when will you come in contact with one of our connectors? Well, a lot of our time's going to be spent doing door knocking, and we've already made a good start on that. With various streets in different parts of Wallasey, and we've had a really good response so far. We've come across quite a few people who are isolated, who are need getting out, maybe need an extra hand to get back into the community. Quite a few people we've given leaflets to, hopefully we'll pass on to friends, family, and through natural conversations, word of mouth, the message will be spread. In community venues, we've left leaflets in GPs, shops, cafes, community centres, churches, all places where you may find a waiting room or where it's appropriate to leave a leaflet. We've also got social media link, got a website as well, and also we're hoping that we're going to get direct referrals from GPs, job centre, social services, and some of the housing providers who we've spoken to so far. So if you see one of our orange jerseys around, not just from being cute, we are actually could be one of your connectors in your area. Also, what we're hoping to do, well, we're hoping to find out who's involved in the community as well, who's running some of these clubs. A lot of the clubs that we found and different organisations we didn't know existed there, and they probably haven't publicised themselves a lot. Little lunch clubs, little social gatherings and things like that. We're hoping to find out who's running those and see how we can learn from them, what help that they might need. We're also hoping to recruit some volunteers as well. Who'd like to volunteer in some of these clubs and things to keep them going. We're also looking for volunteers for ourselves as well. The bigger the team, the more people we can reach. And obviously, we need people who's got the time to do that. But hopefully we'll come across some of them. And also some peer mentors, people who can go out and perhaps befriend people, spend that bit of extra time with people who perhaps are struggling, and can give us an extra pair of hands as well. So that's one of the other aims of our project. And finally, if there's any gaps that we come across, if there's a lot of people saying that we want to plug for this, or there's a gap here, or there's a need for this, we do have a small Sparks fund where we can perhaps give them some assistance to set things up, maybe just to hire a hall or get some basic equipment and stuff if that's what they need just to start up their club or their little charity or whatever. And we've got access to people who can advise on that as well. So obviously we want this to work. We need to communicating what we're doing, and obviously listening to the people that we're coming across on the doorstep, to their needs, and hopefully be able to respond to what they say as opposed to maybe what we think is best.
If you need any more information, our number is 0151 644 1100. The email that you can contact us on is connectus@involvenorthwest.org.uk. Our project manager is called Misha, that's M-I-C-H-A, and we're based in Rockferry at the Royal Standard House. We don't just cover the Seacombe, Wallasey, Brighton and Lisgar area. We cover Woodchurch, Overchurch, Rockferry, Bronborough, Easton, Fast.
22 of you are.
There are 15 of us in total, yeah. And we've just been told we've got to go ahead with Woodchurch, Overchurch and Upton as well. We do Morton and Leech. There's various. So if there's any more information you need, just give us a call on that number.
I can leave a leaflet for the Wallasey Constituency. I've got some leaflets here.
Yeah.
Are you entertaining questions if anybody's got?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, have you got, anybody know anything, or we have Chris?
Thank you. 15 huge areas to be covered in all the wards.
Yes, indeed.
How are you going to manage covering 22 wards, 300,000 people?
Well, we've got a 2-year time span to do it. Obviously, there's certain targets people that we're in for, those perhaps who are isolated will be our main target. Hopefully it wouldn't just be the door knocks. We'll prioritise certain areas from the referrals that we get in from different people, and obviously give them a bit of a priority.
for the moment, currently what we're doing is we're going out into the area and we're door knocking. Already the team has said, hang on a minute, 2 people going out into Leech to do a door knock. How's that going to work? So what we've decided is we're going to do a mass door knock. We have just been out recently with Age UK to do a door knock with them. And from that, in the Rockferry area, we've got 13 referrals. And they're already working with those referrals, pretty good referrals. Yeah. And the work's already started with them. So what we're considering is that we're all going to go out as a team into an area and do a mass door knock and see what comes from that. So we're just going to trial all different things at all times to see what is best. It's all down to that individual. It's not about what we want, it's about what they want. And then it's like how Reach Out started, because I used to work for Reach Out, which is part of Involved North West as well. And that's how it worked for us. We started out by trialling things, and now we're doing work clubs in all different libraries across the Wirral, and it works. So yeah, we'll just try and see how we go.
I'll put you on a minute, just to declare an interest. I work for Age UK, but I've been on 2 of the door knocks, and the door knocks are the police, the fire brigade,
Yes.
Yeah.
NHS,
Yeah.
social services, all
We're
put
working
together.
out
Yeah, they've been very, very successful. Ron?
Sorry, yeah, I think, Chris's point as well, I think that's reflective of the government funding that was put into it and the actual contract that was awarded. That's where you got the sparsity of numbers delivering this project. It should have been far bigger, far wider as part of their evolve. But the issue is involved with the community.
Yeah.
It's not going to, I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
It's a mammoth task.
It is. But the good thing about it is,
But that's to do with the lack of numbers on the ground.
the good thing about it is it's all about partnership working, and we've got some really good partnership working going on. And that's what the team is building upon, because they even recognise themselves that this is a mammoth task, and 2 years is probably not long enough. But we have got good partnership working, and we've built really good
Well, I'm
partnerships.
aware, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I've been involved in that side of community stuff. I'm well aware of what Reach Out did. They did a huge amount of work in these a number of years ago, so I'm aware of what you do, and I wish you well. It's
Yeah.
not a negative, it's a positive. I'm just trying to put a reality to the fact that you've got a mammoth task.
Yeah.
There's a small number of people, and you've got a load of agencies with you.
Yeah.
It's a one-off hit there, and the work is more in depth than that. That you're looking to secure. But back down to it was never properly funded in the first place.
Oh, thanks. Oh, sorry, thanks. Nothing's wrong. Were you going to say something, Phil?
See, some of the people who come across, with mild mental health issues and things like that, aren't going to be a quick fix. It's going to be very small steps. We're hoping to be able to offer them that support, to be able to give them that hand to go and get connected back in. That's one of the main aims of the plan.
Yeah, people don't appreciate it. It's usually breaking down very small barriers that makes very, very, very big difference.
Well, we were out with someone the other day, and one of the barriers was just to open his curtains, because he was living in darkness, couldn't go out the door. So we said, well, let's look at even one day getting something put up on your windows, because he thought everyone was going to look in. And that's not because he had paranoia, just because he had pride and he knew his house was untidy. So why don't we look at getting you some nets, get the nets up, get them curtains open, because we know you've got that beautiful sunshine outside. And from there, we'll take another step forward, which could be to decluttering your living room, not necessarily yours, but a charity within your area. And then from there, we'll take another step elsewhere. And then eventually, we might build upon that confidence and that self-esteem to get outside that door.
And that's where the partnership comes in, because the fire service are doing things like decluttering. The fire services are also going in and referring people on for all of a sudden, it's like a big plan, all of a sudden starting to click into place and things are starting to work. And I see one girl on the door that I can't tell you about, because if I tried to tell you about it, I'd start crying. She was only a young girl, and me knocking on the door that day, she sent an email in, it's changed her life, because she's volunteering now, and she's left her house because she was suffering from postnatal depression, and the difference it's made is unbelievable. So sometimes it is just enough.
That takes 3 door knocks to get to that.
Yeah.
That's really just a,
So that's just shows you, doesn't it? I'm keen now that we need to move on. We said it was going to be fine. Did you
No,
want to say?
I've decided not to.
I'll just give you one.
All right.
Thank you very much.
If you want to leave on the table there, Phil,
Oh,
we'll
right,
take it
okay.
when we're all leaving. Thank you very much, Sharon. Thank you, Phil, for coming round. I think the whole committee wish you not the best.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you very much.
And if you ever want to come out with us, you're very welcome to.
Okay. Thanks for the offer. Right, thank you very much, everybody. We'll move on to the community reps report. So, are you all right, Jenny?
Yeah, can everyone hear me? Everyone hear me? Yeah. We've, our work is a little bit similar to the Connectors programme. We are looking to get more people involved in the constituency, and that is through the process of door knocking and doing smaller events. We're using a bit more social media, but me and Sarah were quite eager to get out a little bit more and engage with people in the Wallasey Constituency to see why they're not coming to these events and how we can get them in a little bit more. So we're doing that probably through door knocking again, and I think again it is all a partnership approach. We don't want thousands of people door knocking on the same door because it's a little bit of overload, so we will try and work as close as we can with involved, but try and target different areas rather than a little bit of overkill at the same time. But that's what we're working towards at the moment.
No. Thank you very much.
Any questions?
No? Questions, everybody? Okay, we're going to move on now to agenda item 6, is Wirral asset strategy. So, Jeanette Royal's here to come and give us a presentation on this. So, thank you very much, Jeanette. Shall I leave that to you?
Thank you very much, Chair. Yes, I was asked to come along and just give you an update on the asset strategy. I think quite a few people have already listened to me talk about where we are with assets. I hope that will give you a little bit more information. Right, okay. I think everybody is aware now of what our vision is in terms of actually creating an estate that is fit for purpose and sustainable. We're looking worldwide here, so I think that's something that everybody is signed up to. Right. We know that there are a number of assets that we are struggling with, that they're not fit for purpose. And we know that there are an awful lot of benefits with actually working with our partners. And hopefully as I go through the presentation I can give you some really nice examples of where it's actually working well and how we're actually proposing to increase that going forward. So I will be concentrating on the one public estate during this short presentation, and the actual place shaping work as well. I'm not sure whether people are fully familiar with the One Public Estate. It is a national initiative, not just aimed at councils, but aimed at fire service, land registry, police, NHS, realising that we've got an awful lot of assets across the country. Very often they're not being used efficiently. Some of them are in a really poor condition, and it's actually making us talk to us about what we actually want to do with our assets in the future and how that can actually benefit the wider community. As I said, we've got some excellent examples of co-location with the police. They're actually in 4 of our assets now. We actually charge them, so there is an understanding that people can't just come in and have a free desk and electricity. So there's that understanding that assets are costly, and there is a will to actually share them and actually share the cost of them. We've got citizens' advice in a number of the buildings as well, and yeah, the locations are across the Rock Ferry, really good examples, along with the retail sector as well. Walking Library, of course, a number of people all sharing in closer proximity. Really good examples in the Millennium Centre, West Kerry and actually looking at what we've got now and what we can actually build on. We've got some fantastic examples, particularly in the Wallasey constituency. I'm thinking of the work that has been done down in Brighton and, you know, and other places where we're actually seeing that regeneration actually spill over into a wider area. Regeneration is really, really key to our asset strategy, and we are looking to be working in the future more with investors. So with our assets and and private money, then we can actually start to really, really shape our borough. It's actually linked to the launch of the Wirral Well-Made initiative that was actually launched at Blakeley last month. Again, that's aimed at attracting businesses into the area. A number of years ago, I know a few of you will be aware that we started to look at a number of area reviews, and this is where we were actually looking at those areas in the borough that had a really high concentration of public buildings, and it was that question: are they in the right place? Are they actually delivering the services that people actually need? Are we actually connecting with our partners? Has been a slow process, but hopefully we have started on the consultation with yourselves. We'll be pleased to know that we've got some dates to actually talk with council, particularly in the Wallasey and in the Wallasey area as well. So again, really, really exciting, and it will actually prepare the way for any major redevelopment opportunities that are likely to come to the borough in the coming 12 months. Just to refresh, just to give you an idea of what some of the challenges are, we know that we've got some really prime pieces of land here that can actually be used better. We've got a number of buildings that are only occupied, you know, in certain times of the day. They're really in a poor condition. The aim of the area review is actually how can we make that better? How can we actually use those assets? How can we use the capital receipts that we get from those assets to actually make them better for the constituency? Lawson, we've got the old family centre there. We've got the station that we know that we can work with them because they don't need a building of that size anymore. And we've actually taken down a number of buildings there.
They're all leased over, by the way, not?
Lawson, you were here on that last time, apologies, but it is more village that we're actually looking at. touched on this, the financial efficiency. We do have an asset disposal strategy. We know that we do have to secure £15 million in the next 12 months from disposals. Some of them are in your ward, not easy decisions at all, but bring significant amounts of capital into the authority, as well as providing additional housing. Some of these are on vacated school sites and other business areas
exquisitely tiny cottages. And if we look at some of the high-rise that's being built, are we in fact really encouraging tomorrow's slums to be built today by having stack them in, build them high, and that sort of thing? Now I realise that this isn't your responsibility to connect, because once you sold them, it then becomes that sort of thing. But there's a considerable fear in this area that there's far too much overcrowding and too much creation of tiny, weedy little cottages where the front door is straight onto the street. I suppose you probably can't answer that. I'm only floating it because I think it's a sort of cross-disciplinary problem for the council.
I don't know whether some of them questions are planning questions. Sorry, Anita, you were going to. So I don't know whether Anita wants to pop a comment in there.
I think in terms of planning, obviously each application is taken on its own merits, and it's discussed based on the merits of the application, and the decision is taken by the planning committee based on the evidence presented before us at the time. And obviously we do take into consideration going over, crowding, too much density, those sort of things. And probably need to declare an interest. Those are sort of planning committee movements being raised. But you can't always get the truck rod step before the second bite of the cherry is when they're actually building. That's not always possible to get what you want from that application. There's got to be an agreement reached with the builders to what they're willing to provide, and compromises have to be taken. So it's not quite as simple as people might think. It can be complex. But I did have a question of my own, Chair, if that's okay.
I'm just going to say, well, really good textbook of answer that was. Thank you very much for that. What was your question?
My question really was regarding leasing of new building, sort of like when I say new building, new leases. You mentioned that there's been a change in leasing, because I know historically there's been like 99-year leases, etc. Has there been a change to that, and when did that change come about?
No actual, when leases are actually coming up for renewal, we're actually looking at sort of best practice in terms of length of those particular leases. So they definitely will vary, and actually costings as well. So we've actually got regional benchmarking in terms of lease charges per square metre. I think the lease lengths are actually reducing significantly.
Okay, so sorry, I need to harp on this because a number of organisations, we're looking at more communities taking over things and such like. Obviously, you need to have some assurance that you're going to be there for a while, what happens to things. So I was just really trying to look for a benchmark. Are we talking 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or isn't there a benchmark?
There are benchmarks, yeah. So we will be able to give you. So say if you say a play group is actually wanting to lease a building, we've actually got benchmarks now that we're actually sharing with schools, and in terms of the benefit for a play group, you wouldn't want to give anything less than 2 years in terms of their business continuity. For those buildings that we've got, which may need, actually say capital investment, then we would actually take that into account as well. But it does definitely depend on the actual nature of the business or community group that actually wants to take the lease. So we will use regional